Hey guys, welcome back. So we're heading out of winter here, which is a beautiful thing, but what is not a beautiful thing is the fact that the tractor is facing into the shop today, because that means I am probably doing some maintenance on it, and that's exactly what I'm bringing you guys along for. The maintenance I'm doing on this thing today, and this happens quite a bit behind the scenes that sometimes you guys see, sometimes you don't, but the maintenance I'm doing on this today is this right down here. This is the quick attach, which goes onto the loader of the tractor, which can hook up to things like the bucket. Now this lever, as you guys can see, is supposed to go right about there. And obviously this would be in the locked position, and then you twist this and it unlocks, and then these pins down here, they release from whatever it is you're hooked to. In my case, this bucket. And you can see the pins sticking out the bottom there. So that's a quick release or quick attach system. Very, very handy for tractors, but obviously pretty useless without this. So what ended up leaving me with this lever in my hand as opposed to on the quick attach, you ask? Well, those pins were frozen one day in these locations. And when they get frozen, sometimes you put a little extra muscle into the lever thinking that, oh, you'll just break it loose, and you don't break it loose, you break the lever. That's exactly what I did. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. In fact, if you look real closely, see that hodgepodge welding there? What I ended up doing one time was I ended up rounding off. You guys see down here? You see how it's got a bit of a shape to it? That shape is supposed to fit perfectly into that shape there. Well, one time I sort of hauled on it too much, and I started to round the corner of that off a little bit on the inside of that rounded shape there, or on the inside of that contoured shape. So by rounding that off, it no longer got the force it needed applied to it, and so I ended up just welding this thing onto it so that it wouldn't slip. Well, that worked real well until the one day this froze, and sure enough, I put a pipe on the end of this and I torqued on it thinking that I could break it loose, and well, I didn't just break this loose, but I also sheared this guy off. That bolt right there. That bolt normally goes down in there, and that bolt with a washer puts pressure on that lever, which is supposed to hold it in place, and it's supposed to make it so it doesn't slip on that piece there. So what am I going to do? Well, most people would probably go down to the dealership, grab one of these levers and call it a day, and well, work on getting that bolt out. I'm not that person. I live quite a ways from the dealer. I don't have time to go down there, and well, if I can try to fix it myself, that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to take this, and if you guys look real closely at that lever, you guys see it right there, it's cracked. I'm going to put some fancy welding on there, minus the fancy, and we'll go ahead and put it back on there and hope it works. And if it breaks, well, at least we can say we tried. So we also have to, if you look there, we got to get rid of all that extra weld that I put on there a while back, probably a year or two ago. Get rid of that, and hopefully we'll make it work again. I found a bolt that'll work, I think. Here it is right here. I think that bolt will work, and there's the original washer, and you can see it's, well, not exactly flat anymore. So we'll put that on there. That is, of course, once I get the bolt out of there. And I think at this point it is broken off so far down in there, and you guys have a good look down there. You guys see it down there? It's broken off so good down there, I'm going to simply drill it and re-tap it and hopefully call it a day. There we go. All right, well, I was originally going to drill out the hole to that bolt first because I hate doing that, and so I do it first, but I don't know what it's doing out there. Icing, raining, snowing, something. So we'll leave that for a minute. What we'll do first is I'm going to cut out all that extra weld in there. Yeah, we'll try to do that anyways, but I'm going to use my plasma cutter to do that. And I don't have a big fancy plasma cutter. I got a little one down here. You guys come on down here and have a look. Maybe you got one of these. You guys seen one of these before? Drag gun. It's old as the hills, probably older than I am. These are made by Thermodynamics, I think. You see it down there? It's been good to me. Picked it up fairly inexpensive, fairly cheap. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll put that into action here. Hopefully it still works. I bet I haven't used it in a good year. Sort of like any tools that aren't in your top 5. You tend to use them, you just don't tend to use them all the time. Trigger on this thing's a little sensitive, I think. I think everything's going. Should be good ground. Come on. I jinxed myself by saying I've had great success with it. Well, if there's anything good that can come of this, I'm hoping that the welds I put in originally, which I just sort of tacked them in there, hopefully they're not strong so I can just break them out of there. Because I can't get my plasma cutter going. Ah, the welds are half decent. Yeah, they're not coming out of there. Okay, well, what are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do now? It's about as fun as it looks. Well, before I go ahead and continue on there, what I'm going to do, you guys can see I just created a bit of a gouge there with the grinder. You can see that crack clear as day. I'm going to try to weld that to the best of my ability, and then we'll go ahead and try to drill out that bolt. We'll put it back together and see if it works. And as I like to say, if you can't weld, weld a lot. Oh yeah, she's burning hot. Maybe too hot. No, that'll do it. Definitely burned her a little hot on that last one. Gonna have to build it up again. That's no good. Let's try her again. Okay, I think that was a good one. I'll leave that up there for a minute. Let that cool, we'll flip her over, and we'll dress up the other side. Can't weld, weld a lot. Truthfully, I can weld decent. I definitely am not good, but Okay. That'll do. Well, there's no longer a crack there. Certainly not winning any awards, but hey, if it's functional, it's good in my books. Ugh. Lovely. Last. Oh, you piece of. There. Oh, got lucky. You figure that's literally the last hole. Well, luckily I got one more of these. Maybe I'm through. I think I'm through. Okay, time to rethread. Little bits and pieces of the old bolt are still in there. I think we're in business. Yes, that's it. It's got to get the right bolt length. Not perfect, but it's good enough. Beautiful. I also got a little bit of debris in the bottom of that hole. I'll just use the air compressor and blow that out before I get the right length bolt. All right, so here's where we're at. So we got a hole drilled in the middle, and I obviously cleaned this up a little bit. I welded the edge there so there's no more crack. That's where it should sit normally, in the lock position. And so what I need to do, as you guys can see, there's an awful lot of space around the outside edge of this lever. And so I'm going to fill that in with a bit of weld there, and that way that'll make that a bit tighter. You guys see that? See that edge? So we'll try to fill that in. As I mentioned before, this got elongated when I was torquing on it, and that shouldn't actually be that oval shape. It should be pretty linear. It should be round on the edges, or semicircle on the edges, and straight on the two sides. So we'll weld that up, hopefully get her fixed, and put her back on. All right, let's see what we can do. Get this into position first. Something like that, it's supposed to be. So I'm going to put a little bit of a weld right on the inside corner there. And maybe a touch right in there. And hopefully that does the trick, because right now, where was it? So there it was. That's where it's supposed to sit. Right now it's pretty loose, and that won't do. If this is the case and it stays that loose, I might as well just tack weld it back on there. This is the part where I turn her way down. I turn the amps down so that I'm not burning holes. I'm just adding filler. That's not too bad. Just want to take her easy here, because every bit of weld I add on here, if I add too much, I have to take it off. So you guys see what I did there? Just added a little bit on the inside. Just following my lines on the back side. Hopefully following it right. Looks not bad. And we'll just touch up that corner there. Hopefully the same way. This is 7014 rod. I think it's also referred to as farmer's rod. It's pretty good in conditions like this. It's not exactly dry in here. I don't have an oven to keep my 7018 electrodes dry in, so I just use 7014. For most of my projects, it's good enough. Not doing any structural welding here. Now, let's see. I'll bump that up a little. We'll go with that. That'll do. Starting to look more like the shape it's supposed to. What do you guys think? Not bad. We'll fix her up. Knocking all the slag off. If you don't weld out there, you may not know what I'm doing. It's really not too bad. I'll test her out. I think we're close. You guys see down there? Relatively speaking, you see in that bottom right hand corner there's a pretty big gap. I'm gonna touch that up again right in here. Give that another hit of weld, and hopefully that'll be it. All right, that's a lot of weld. I think we're gonna call that for now. Okay, well, that's it. All right, guys, well, that was a little bit of fiddling. As you saw at the end there, I was going back and forth with the file just to get a perfect fit. Obviously, if it's not a perfect fit, when you put some torque on that lever there, it's just going to round the corners again. So we got it fitting nice. As you can see, I put the bolt in, you got the washer there. That's going to be a job well done. Now, in a perfect world, would I have done that every single time that happens? Probably not. I'd go and get a part, but I don't have that lever handy. I don't know how much it costs. It's a heck of a time drive and all that other stuff to go get it. And so I just decided, hey, I got all the tools here. I'll try to make it work for now. I'll get back at it. And that's the name of the game. For many people, they would look at that and say, wow, you just wasted all your time. And for me, I feel kind of accomplished because, you know, I did something. I made something. Look at it. Beautiful thing. Guys, take care. Be well. See you next time.